Friends, listen to me. Look around you. Look at your life. Are you happy? Are you truly, deeply content with the way things are? Or is there a knot in your stomach? A feeling of dread that wakes you up in the middle of the night? A quiet, persistent voice that whispers you are capable of more, but you are settling for less? That feeling, that ache, that gnawing emptiness in your gut? That is misery, and it is a poison. It is a slow, creeping death of the spirit. It tells you that tomorrow will be different. It sells you the dream of a future rescue, of a lucky break, of a moment when everything will just click into place without you having to change a single thing. But I am here to tell you today, with every fiber of my being, that tomorrow is a liar. Hope without action is a cruel joke, and waiting for the storm to pass while you refuse to build the ark is the definition of insanity. You are not stuck because of your circumstances. You are stuck because of your choices. And there is only one choice that leads out of the wilderness of your own making. Discipline is not a choice. It is the only way out of your misery. I want you to let that sink in. It is not a choice on a menu alongside comfort and ease and distraction. It is not a lifestyle preference, like being a morning person or a night owl. It is not a personality trait that some are born with and some are not. That is a lie sold to you by a culture that wants you weak, compliant, and consuming. Discipline is the axe you take to the roots of the tree of your own suffering. It is the surgical steel that cuts out the cancer of procrastination. It is the only bridge that spans the chasm between the person you are and the person you know, deep in your bones, you were meant to be. Think about the misery you feel right now. Where does it come from? Trace it back. Is it the body you hate? That misery comes from the choice to eat the sugar and skip the workout. Is it the bank account that mocks you? That misery comes from the choice to buy the things you want instead of earning the future you need. Is it the relationship that drains you? That misery comes from the choice to avoid the hard conversation, to swallow your truth for the sake of false peace. Is it the career that bores you to tears? That misery comes from the choice to clock in and out, to do the bare minimum, to never risk failure by reaching for greatness. Your misery is not a mystery. It is a direct, line-by-line receipt for the lack of discipline in your life. You have traded the pain of discipline, which is the pain of growth, for the pain of regret, which is the pain of decay. And let me tell you, the pain of regret is 1,000 times heavier. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. It is the weight you feel on your chest at 3 a.m. It is the weight that follows you through your day. A shadow you cannot outrun. People are afraid of discipline. They see it as a prison. They see it as deprivation. They see it as a life of saying no, of grinding, of suffering. But they have it backwards. They are living in the prison already. The prison is the life without discipline. The prison is the chaos of uncontrolled impulses. The prison is being a slave to every urge, every notification, every desire for comfort. Discipline is not the cell. Discipline is the key. Think of a river. A river without banks is not a river. It is a swamp. It is stagnant water, going nowhere, breeding disease and mosquitoes. The banks of the river are its discipline. They confine it. They restrict it. But because of those banks, the water has power. It flows. It cuts through mountains. It generates electricity. It gives life to everything on its banks. Your life is the water. Discipline is the bank. Without it, you don't flow. You don't have power. You just spread out in a muddy, miserable puddle. waiting to evaporate. When you build the banks of discipline, your energy is channeled. It becomes focused. It becomes a force of nature. You don't lose your freedom by building the banks. You gain the power to move. The motivational speakers will tell you to find your why. They will tell you to visualize your success. They will tell you to think positive thoughts. And that's all fine for a Sunday school picnic. But it is not enough for a war. And you are at war. You are at war with your own lower nature. You are at war with a multi-trillion-dollar attention economy designed to break your focus into 1,000 pieces and sell them back to you. You are at war with a culture that tells you to feel good now and pay later. Thinking positive thoughts while you are lying in a ditch does not get you out of the ditch. Visualizing the road while you refuse to walk does not move you 1 inch closer. Your why can be the most beautiful, inspiring reason in the world, but it will not do the work for you when your muscles burn and your mind screams to stop. Motivation is a fire that burns bright and fast. It is gasoline. It's great for a sprint, but life is not a sprint. Life is a marathon through a desert, carrying a 100-pound pack with no finish line in sight. Motivation will burn out in the first mile. It will abandon you when the sun is high and the sand is hot. It will leave you for dead. Discipline is the camel. It is the beast of burden that doesn't care about the heat. It doesn't care about the distance. It just puts one foot in front of the other, day after day, because that is what it is built to do. Discipline is the ability to do the thing you said you were going to do, long after the feeling you set it in has left you. It is waking up at 4:30 in the morning, in the dark, in the cold, when the bed feels like a lover's embrace, and your mind screams, just 10 more minutes. Discipline says no. We have work to do. It is looking at the donut in the break room, the one that smells like heaven and promises a moment of bliss, and your mind says, you deserve a treat. You've been good. Discipline says no. We have a goal to reach. It is sitting down to write the book, to code the program, to build the business. When the screen is blank, the ideas won't come, and every cell in your body is screaming to open a new tab, check the scores, see who liked your post. Discipline says no. Stay in the chair. The breakthrough is on the other side of the boredom. This is the battle. This is the war. It is not fought on a battlefield in a foreign land. It is fought in the 6 inches between your ears. It is fought in the quiet, mundane moments that no one sees. It is fought in the choice between what you want now and what you want most. And let's be brutally honest about what you want most. You want to be proud of yourself. You want to look in the mirror and respect the person looking back. You want to know that you have what it takes. You want to feel strong, capable, and in control. You want to live a life of meaning, not just a life of existence. You want to leave a mark. You want to be able to handle any crisis, any challenge, any storm that life throws at you, and know that you will not break. You will not get that from a vacation. You will not get that from a promotion. You will not get that from a new car or a bigger house. Those things are nice. They are byproducts. But the thing you are truly starving for, the thing that will end your misery, is self-respect. And self-respect is not given. It is not found. It is earned. It is forged in the fire of discipline. Every time you do the thing you don't want to do, you hammer another link in the chain of your own character. Every time you say no to the easy path and yes to the hard path, you deposit another coin in the bank of your own soul. And when the account is full, you are rich beyond measure. There is a concept in philosophy called the Stoic Reserve. It means that when you set out to do something, you do it with all your might, but you are internally prepared for the possibility that it might not work out. You focus on what is in your control. You do not control the outcome. You do not control the economy, the weather, or other people. But you control the effort. You control the discipline. You control whether you show up or not. And that is everything. If you tie your happiness to the outcome, you will be miserable. You will be a slave to luck. But if you tie your happiness to the process, to the act of disciplined effort itself, then you are unbeatable. If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win. Because you became the kind of person who could show up and fight. And that person, the one who fights, is infinitely more valuable than the person who only wins by accident. The disciplined person is not immune to failure. They fail all the time. The difference is they don't stay down. They don't wallow. They don't have time for self-pity because they have a schedule to keep. They have a workout to do. They have pages to write. They have calls to make. Failure is just data. It's feedback. It tells you what doesn't work, so you can adjust and go again. The undisciplined person, when they fail, they collapse. They have no structure to fall back on. Their whole identity is built on the shifting sands of mood and circumstance. And when the storm comes, the house is swept away. Build your house on the rock of discipline. Let the rains come. Let the floods rise. Let the winds beat against you. You will not fall, because your foundation is not a feeling. It is a practice. It is a decision you make every single day, sometimes every single hour. And I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, but you don't understand my situation. You don't know how tired I am. You don't know how hard my life is. You don't know the trauma I carry, the obstacles I face, the people who drag me down. You are right. I don't know. I don't know your specific hell, but I know hell. We all have one, and I know that your hell will not be impressed by your excuses. The mountain does not care why you stopped climbing. The finish line does not care why you stopped running. The life you want does not care why you settled for the life you have. Your past is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Your pain is real, but it is not a hall pass. The world does not owe you a break because you've been broken. In fact, the world will break you again, harder, if you stay where you are. The only way to protect yourself, the only way to heal, the only way to transcend your past is to build something so strong, so resilient, so disciplined that your past becomes a footnote in the story of your triumph. Stop using your history as an excuse and start using it as fuel. The very thing that tried to kill you can be the source of your power. The anger, the hurt, the frustration. Channel it. Don't let it fester into self-pity. Let it forge itself into discipline. Let it be the fire that heats the steel. Let every person who doubted you, every obstacle that was put in your way, every failure that tried to define you, be the reason you get up one more time. Be the reason you grind when no one is watching. Be the reason you refuse to quit. There is a verse in the Bible that says, "For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required." But I want to flip that for you today. I want to tell you, for whomsoever much is taken, from him much is expected. If you have been dealt a bad hand, if you have been knocked down, if you have been deprived, then the universe, or God, or whatever you believe in, expects a return. It expects you to fight back. It expects you to rise from the ashes, not as a pile of cinders, but as a phoenix. Your suffering is not a punishment. It is an investment in your future strength. Don't waste it. Don't let it be for nothing. Use it. So how do we do this? How do we build this discipline? How do we take the first step out of the swamp of misery? It starts with a decision. A real decision. Not a wish. Not a hope. A decision. A decision is when you burn the boats. In ancient times, when a general would land his army on a foreign shore, sometimes he would order the boats burned. He would look at his men and say, "See those boats? That was your way home. They are gone now. There is no retreat. There is only victory or death." That is a decision. You need to burn the boats. You need to look at your old self, the one who hits snooze, the one who quits when it gets hard, the one who makes excuses, and you need to set him on fire. That person is dead. He has to die, so the new you can be born. And the birth is painful. It is messy. It is a struggle. But on the other side of that struggle is life. Then, you start small. You do not try to fix your whole life in a day. That is ego. That is a recipe for failure. You pick one thing, just one. Maybe it's making your bed every morning. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water when you wake up. Maybe it's a 10-minute walk. You pick the smallest, most insignificant thing you can think of and you do it. Every single day, without fail. Why? Because you are not building the habit of a made bed. You are building the habit of keeping a promise to yourself. When you make that bed, you are looking in the mirror and saying, "I said I was going to do that, and I did it. I am a person of my word." That one small victory creates a ripple. It creates momentum. It proves to you that you are capable of change. From that small win, you add another. And another. And another. You build the scaffolding of your new life. One brick of discipline at a time. You don't think about the whole skyscraper. That's overwhelming. You just think about laying this one brick as perfectly as you can. And then the next. And then the next. And one day, you look up and you are living in the penthouse. This is a long game. This is not a 30-day challenge. This is a lifestyle. This is the rest of your life. And the rest of your life is a long time to be miserable. Or it's a long time to be free. The choice is yours, but it is made in the thousands of small moments that fill your days. You have to learn to love the grind, not the result of the grind, but the grind itself. You have to learn to find a sick, twisted pleasure in doing what others won't do. When they are sleeping, you are working. When they are eating, you are fasting. When they are scrolling, you are learning. When they are talking, you are listening. When they are quitting, you are just getting started. This is not about being better than them. It's about being better than the person you were yesterday. But if you consistently do what they won't do, you will eventually have what they won't have. That's just math. That's cause and effect. That's the universe working exactly as it should. You will have days when you don't want to do it. You will have days when your body aches and your spirit is low. You will have days when it feels pointless, when the goal seems a million miles away. On those days, you don't rely on motivation. You don't rely on feelings. You rely on the system. You rely on the discipline you have built. You put one foot in front of the other like an automaton. You do the work like a robot. You don't think. You just act. The poet Dante wrote that the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, in a time of moral crisis, maintain their neutrality. I say the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, in a time of personal crisis, maintain their neutrality with their own lives. For those who see the misery, who feel the pain, you know they are dying inside, and yet do nothing. They stay neutral. They refuse to choose. They refuse to fight. Do not be neutral in the war for your own soul. Pick a side. Pick the side of discipline. Pick the side of the difficult path. Pick the side of the future you. And fight for him like he is the most important person in the world. Because he is. He is you. Stop looking for a way out that doesn't require sacrifice. There is none. The only way out is through. And the only thing that will carry you through the fire, through the swamp, through the valley of the shadow of death, is discipline. Discipline is the bridge. Discipline is the axe. Discipline is the key. It is not a choice on a menu. It is the only meal that will ever satisfy your hunger. It is the only drink that will ever quench your thirst. So get up. Right now. Not tomorrow. Not on Monday. Not on January 1st. Right now. Do one thing. One small thing that moves you in the direction of the person you want to be. Make the bed. Go for a walk. Throw away the junk food. Write one sentence. Make one phone call. Do one thing. And then tomorrow, do it again. And the day after that, do it again. Build the chain. And don't break the chain. The misery you feel is a message. It is a warning light on the dashboard of your life. It is telling you that you are on the wrong road. It is telling you that the engine is overheating. And if you keep going this way, you will blow up. Listen to the message. Heed the warning. And then change course. Discipline is not a choice. It is the only way out. Your life is waiting for you. Go take it.